Hi guys, Will here. Great to see all you maniacs back on the channel. Before I start, I just wanted to make mention that this video was previously uploaded on my second channel, Audits Exposed. Please take the opportunity to go and subscribe, have a look at some of the videos I have over there, because I'm spending a lot of time on that channel, and pretty soon we're going to have our first live stream. With that out of the way, enjoy the video. Alright, so in this one, we're going to talk a little bit about Poster 7, and we're going to be looking at Georgia Transparency and Lana. Now, it's interesting how two self-proclaimed journalists with the sole objective of educating the public get something so simple as Poster 7 wrong. Let's have a look. This one ain't that busy at all.
Hello.
Where am I?
How you doing?
Hi.
You all have to step out, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, you all can't video. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's that? Was that your computer on her?
This is a very subjective statement I'm about to make, but auditors have the boringest content. I mean, right now he's literally filming boxes and bubble wrap. Seriously, what journalism is this?
Who are you?
So we got
Can you all please
these.
leave?
Oh, I'm sorry.
The supervisor, can you please?
And what's your name?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I will.
You work here?
Yeah.
Can you all please leave?
Yeah, as soon as we're done.
Thank you.
Yeah, as soon as we're done, keep gathering our content for our story, news story.
So, is there passport applications here?
We don't have
I
any
don't
here.
have any.
That stinks. It's mean.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you.
Let me have my phone so I can take pictures of it.
Oh, but you're allowed to, but we're not.
Yeah,
Why are you allowed to take pictures and record in here, but I'm not?
have a good day,
Okay.
please.
Can I show you something real quick? Over here on your Poster 7, rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property. Right here it says that for news purposes, photographs.
Do you have an ID to show us, please?
Yeah, right here. This is my press badge.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah, come on. Right here, see it? See it?
What news?
Independent.
Independent?
Yeah. News. Break wrap, part of the break wrap. And news right here.
Okay. I'm gonna ask that you all leave. Hello? Yes, can I have the phone? You see at 400 Street, please?
It's not on 113. Say something about that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you all, please.
What, blue jeans, blue jean shorts, black t-shirt.
Okay, can you
black
please?
t-shirt.
Thank
As soon as
you.
I'm done.
Okay.
All right, look at your rules and regulations here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And look, oh,
Are you all purchasing anything?
Here in a second, we will.
This time?
I've been advised by my attorney to not speak or answer any questions if police are being called.
Okay, can you all please?
Thank you. Have a good day, ma'am.
Can you all please, if you all weren't purchasing anything at this time?
I might make a purchase.
Because I don't.
So it's interesting how usually the first line of defense in these post office audits is Poster 7. And the reason is because the rules and regulations that govern the conduct on postal property does have a specific section on filming. However, it's not that difficult to understand what it's actually saying. So I think the best place to start with this is to ask the question, is it illegal to film inside a post office? And the answer, surprisingly, is no. So you might think, well, wait a minute then. So does this mean that the fraudsters have the right to go in and film people, patrons inside the post office? Well, Poster 7, which is what the post office uses to govern the actions and conduct on postal property, clearly states that yes, photographs may be taken in all public areas of a post office at any given time during business hours. But it's the key point that's mentioned there. It says, except when prohibited by authorized personnel or by a court order. Now, I heard this argument being said many times that, oh, an employee is not an authorized personnel or they're not the postmaster. But the question is, what is an authorized personnel? I mean, what gives them the right to dictate whether or not a person can or cannot film? Well, look at the definition. Legally, this is defined as an employee who has been given official permission to do something and who is subject to any potential hazards on a particular job site. Now, as an employee of said establishment, yes, employees have the assignment of enforcing the rules and regulations of the post office. So by them enforcing Poster 7, this is part of their duties. This is part of their responsibilities.
You want to run the other customers away?
I'm not running them away, ma'am.
Are you all safe with them recording you all?
Safe with it being not safe now.
No, don't. Please don't ask nobody.
I'm not gonna take
They
nobody.
don't. No, okay, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and lock the lobby. We'll shut it down for me. Thank you. If you can come back with. Thank you. Is that your last one?
Ma'am, why are you allowed to take pictures in here, but I'm not?
I asked you all to please leave if you are.
Second notice available.
Because we have other visitors.
Okay.
And I just want, if you all aren't purchasing,
Post office.
I don't
It's a
want to
Denver,
harm
you
other
have.
customers.
Okay, and it's saying.
Okay, I just wondered why you're allowed to take pictures in
So
here
they return it
and
back.
allow purchases, but I'm not. Now, there's a few interesting subsections. This one's in Poster 7 that actually go contrary to the arguments that the auditors. Now, if you talk to an auditor, they're quick to say that this is activism, this is a movement, it's their rights. But according to Poster 7, under this subsection, it states that demonstrations by members of the public is prohibited. And it says that it's only allowed to be done when conducted or sponsored by postal services. So in their mind, when they say that they're demonstrating their activism, technically, according to Poster 7, they can't do that unless they have permission by the Postal Service itself. So that right there goes against their argument that their right to film is protected by Poster 7.
It's 13:04 right now.
Yeah, it's coming back to you.
Response time is-
On the 17th. So you might need to.
So they send me to the
That's because you're calling it a
Yeah,
service, man.
Yeah, 30343.
it says,
So this is how you do registered mail.
Okay.
Ma'am, what about my feelings? What if, what about the comfortability of my feelings? Do mine not matter? Now let's briefly go back to that original subsection where photographs are discussed. Now it does say, yes, photographs for news purposes, and again, this is for news purposes, advertising, commercial purposes. It says may be taken in entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, and auditoriums when used for public meetings, not for public use, public accessibility, but for meetings. And understand that keyword, may. That indicates that the right is not absolute. So Georgia Transparency talking about my feelings, do my feelings not matter? I want to do this. That's not applicable. That's irrelevant. Because again, the right of filming is not absolute when you are inside a post office. And then it goes on to state that if there are other reasons why photography is requested to be taken, then it must be done only with permission of the postmaster or installation head. So again, they do not have the right to go in and just blindly film. They have to get permission if they're not following or filming rather for the specific reasons specified in this subsection. Ma'am, my name's Russ. Your name?
checking the status.
And I ask that you do not record me. I don't give you the permission to record me. I don't.
Okay.
So I would appreciate it.
I don't give you the permission to record me with your cameras in the ceiling up there.
I just don't.
I just don't either, ma'am. I don't.
And I don't give you permission to record me. Okay.
I have a consent form.
I'm not signing a consent for you to record me. No, I will not.
Oh, you have a
Not
consent
record.
form?
Why not? Can I have your consent, please?
The answer is no.
Right. You hurt my feelings.
I know.
What about my feelings? My feelings matter, don't they?
It does. I can assist you. Just give me 1 second. I'm not sure. Just have your ID out for me. Please don't record me. Black shirt, blue jean shorts, black sandals. The female is like a gray or green shirt, black shorts, black tennis shoes.
Blue jean shorts. Blue jean shorts. Thank you. You described.
What company are you with? Okay, thank you.
Assholes of America.
I'm sorry. Is that door open? It is. You can come on in, sir. You're next. Come on in. This way.
Now, while they're in the lobby, let's talk about subsection under disturbances. Now, it's interesting because it talks about disorderly conduct. Now, I think the opinions would vary as to whether or not their conduct has gravitated towards being disorderly. I mean, yes, they are causing a disturbance, so to speak, but they haven't been violent, they haven't been loud, but they've been told that their conduct is not permitted and they've been asked to leave. So I won't talk about the disorderly portion, but I think the end of this is the important section. It says that they are not allowed to impede or disturb the general public transacting business or attempting to obtain the services provided on Postal Service's property. So if they are creating a disturbance to the point where it's disturbing people that are engaging in lawful business, because again, they don't have any business there, that conduct is prohibited. That is a disturbance, and under this subsection, that is disorderly conduct. Now we're going to come back to that in just a second because there's something interesting that's about to happen that's really going to hammer this point home.
That's not even funny.
I'm laughing, so it is.
Let me just choose my words wisely, okay? I ain't working, I ain't professional.
You don't seem like it. That's a fire hazard. Don't report you to the fire marshal now.
She just locked them in there.
Yeah.
So as you guys can see, by their conduct, they now are obstructing people obtaining the services provided on Postal Service property. Now, how did they do that? Well, they had to lock the doors just so they wouldn't go in and engage in conduct that's not prohibited. So therefore, yes, absolutely. Under this subsection of disturbances, by their conduct, they are demonstrating that their conduct on postal property is prohibited. So again, they tell people to Poster 7 encourages what they're doing. That is unequivocally false.
She just look at this. Look.
Man,
She locked the people in. Isn't that a fire hazard?
that's a big fire hazard.
I would say it's a fire hazard.
I'm going to stop right here in this video because they are eventually allowed back inside and they go and antagonize people some more. But let's actually address what we've seen so far and discuss whether or not they've committed a crime. Before I give my take on the audit itself, let me bring in some case law that I think will be very helpful. I found this case, Moore v. United States Postal Service. I'm going to briefly summarize some of the key points that really validates the argument that frauditors cannot go in and simply engage in any conduct that they like simply because it's quote-unquote protected by the Constitution. This case is fantastic because it addresses all the key issues. It addresses the forum doctrine, it addresses Poster 7, it addresses conduct, but I don't have time to read the whole case, so if you'd like to look at it, I definitely recommend going back and looking at the whole case if you're interested. But let me just read a couple of the key points that really validates this argument. On March 14th, 2000, Don Moore entered the Jordan post office, made a stamp purchase, and lingered in the customer area. About 10 minutes later, the postmaster asked him if he had any further postal business to undertake. When he replied that he did not, he was asked to leave but would not do so. He was then arrested again for trespassing by the New York State Police. During the afternoon of December 6, 2000, he entered the Jordan post office and remained for approximately 40 minutes. He did not carry out any postal business, but read aloud from some papers, including the decision of the appeal court, and asked permission to post a copy of the appeal decision on the post office community bulletin board. The postmaster denied his request. On December 7, 2000 and January 3, 2001, he again returned to the Jordan post office, stating his disapproval with the USPS to all those present, and read aloud his copy of his letter protesting the denial of his request to post a copy of the appeals court decision in his case on the post office community bulletin board. Don Moore has used language in written and oral communications with USPS personnel, which USPS takes to be threatening. In January 1994, while still a USPS employee, Don Moore wrote a letter to the Postmaster General in which he stated, "What do you recommend I do? Should I 1. Hold a G to your head, 2. Shoot them, or 3. Try to get answers someplace else, like I did?" Plaintiffs, proceeding pro se, have commenced a Bivens-type federal constitutional tort action alleging that defendants, USPS and John Pellin, manager of post office operations, violated their First Amendment free speech and petition rights and Fifth Amendment due process rights by closing their post office box in the Jordan, New York post office, indefinitely prohibiting plaintiff Don Moore from entering the premises of the Jordan, New York post office, and having Don Moore falsely arrested twice. Each of the Postal Service's decisions disputed by the plaintiff in the instant case were based on the Postal Service's decision that Don Moore had been behaving in manners which transgressed Postal Service regulations. These regulations prohibit individuals from obstructing post office entrances, disturbing postal employees in the performance of their duties, or impeding the public in transactions of postal business, and reflect the government's interest in preventing any disruption of post office business. The USPS determined that Don Moore's conduct violated the following UPCS regulations. Oh, looky there. 39 CFR Statute 232, subsection E, disturbances, disorderly conduct. See how that keeps coming up? Let's briefly summarize some of the key points highlighted in this case. Number 1, a person's conduct inside USPS property is not unfettered, meaning simply because someone has a constitutional right, quote unquote, to engage in certain behavior outside of postal property, they must conduct themselves in a way on postal property that complies with the rules and regulations of USPS property. Number 2, USPS personnel have the right to inform a patron that their conduct is not permitted on their property. So you hear sometimes the argument made that, oh, you can't tell me to stop filming, or you can't tell me to leave, or this or that. But according to this case, they can. Because as you saw, this individual was arrested numerous times because he was asked to cease his behavior and he did not. Number 3, a person's constitutional rights do not give them the right to A, impede the public's use of the post office, or B, disturb the post office employees' performance in their duties. As you saw, they quoted the statutes that indicated that, yes, a person is committing these crimes by impeding in the public's use of the post office or disturbing the employees in the course of their duties. Now you see frauditors saying, well, my actions are protected by the Constitution. Poster 7 says I can do this. But reviewing this case law, it indicates that that's not correct. That if you are impeding the public use of the post office or disturbing the employees in their duties, That is a crime, and that indicates that your conduct is not permitted on postal property. So as we can see, this is a clear audit fail because Georgia Transparency and Lana 1 disturbed the use of the property that they were on, 2 failed to comply with Postmaster's request as we read, Poster 7 requires, and 3 lacked a basic understanding of what Poster 7 actually said. And it's a common thing with these frauditors. They use Poster 7 as their ploy to victimize people in the post office, not realizing that Poster 7 actually protects the patrons of the post office from what they're actually doing. So again, this is an audit fail. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and even if you didn't understand Poster 7 clearly before, hopefully this video gave a little bit of clarity. And for people objectively watching this, hopefully you now understand that when frauditors say that Poster 7 allows them to go in and harass people in the post office, they're wrong. They're 110% See you next time.